demo. My name is Zizi. This is Joe, my lab mate. We're both graduate students in Washington University in St. Louis in chemistry department. Today we're going to show you something about nanotechnology. So before we start, I want to ask, so how many of you have heard of nanotechnology? Raise your hand. Well, almost everyone. So since you all heard about nanotechnology, who can tell me what is nanotechnology? Okay, please.
Okay.
Okay, so nanotechnology is to use small particles to carry things. So how small? How small is nanoparticle? Okay, how small? Like really tiny. So is this tiny? So Jill, how small is nano?
Nano is even smaller than what you can see in the microscope. So if you take a soccer ball, you know what a soccer ball looks like? It's about this big, and you compare it to the size of the Earth, which is really big. It's that difference between the soccer ball and the Earth, and this length is a nanometer. So that's really small. So besides being small, I would argue that it's actually very big. Nobody of you have heard of this big, right? It compared to atoms and molecules, it's huge. One nanoparticle can contain like tens or hundreds of thousands of molecules. So nanoparticle actually fall right between basic molecules and something you can see. And we didn't invent nanotechnology. Nanoparticles has been around for as long as the world exists. Who can give me an example of nanoparticles in your life? What? Oh, they're really tiny. I know it's tiny, but something we have in everyday life is milk. Milk. Oh, he said it. Yeah.
What did he say?
Oh, he said it's really tiny. So milk is actually nanoparticles of 100 nanometer. If you don't know it, but you're drinking nanoparticle every day. When things get to those small size, all sorts of amazing things happen. And we humans identify those amazing things and build on that. And that's all about nanotechnology. So next, Jill is going to show you some really cool examples of nanotechnology.
Sure, we have nanotechnology used in all sorts of life already. In your windshield wipers, actually just your windshields, there's titanium oxide, which are small nanoparticles that are embedded in the surface, and that's what keeps them clean while you're driving through rain and helps it get rid of the dirt. There's certain clothes that have nanofibers in them that when you spill coffee accidentally on, you don't get stains. So there are aspects of our life that nanotechnology has already been a part of. Not to mention the cutting-edge science that some of us do. But one of the other cool things is when you take a compound that's really big and break it down into really small pieces, some of the properties change. Zizi will show you later that sometimes color can change when you get smaller and smaller. I'm going to show you an example of how when you take something like iron, which is big, you can think of an iron ore, like a big piece of metal, and you chop it up a lot of times, and you make some sort of a little iron nanoparticle, it can do some pretty cool things too. So I've got, you guys, some of the kids, you guys might want to come up here to see it better. You want to come down? Come here. So what does this look like? So what I did earlier today is I mixed a little bit of this brown stuff, which is an iron compound, and a little bit of this green stuff. And I mixed it together and I added some other things to it. And what does this look like to you now? Kind of like a paint, a mud, some sort of liquid, right? This is actually, yes, a black liquid, right? What happens when I add a magnetic field? These are just magnets. See if you can, there it goes. When you add a magnetic force to these, so even just a small little magnet, it'll change. It goes from being a liquid to having some pretty cool properties. So let's see if I can put it up here. Do you see some of the spikes? So when you put this type of nanoparticle, see it? Can I make them dance? when you put it under a little magnetic field, you can make them spike. See? Can you see it, guys? So this is a nanoparticle that makes it do this. And you see them? That's pretty cool, right? Alright guys, yeah,
So that's pretty cool. I mean, spikes is pretty cool, but how can we make use of them? Jill, how can we make use of them?
well, people use ferrofluids, is what this type of nanoparticle is called, for all sorts of things, including hinges and sealants and some machinery, but also in some sort of high-tech speakers, they use these nanoparticles. They use these nanoparticles to got it? To help give better sound quality in your speakers. So ferrofluids are actually being used probably around your house.
Okay, ferrofluid is very cool, but now I'm going to show you something that's arguably even cooler.
Yeah.
So besides, once you reduce the size to nano size, it changes magnetic behavior. It also changes color, something you would never imagine if you haven't seen it. So first of all, I want to ask, who has seen gold? So what's the color of gold? Shout it out. It's gold? Yeah. What's the color of the gold? Yellow. It's like gold color, right? So who has gold? Like I know banks have gold. They're rich. And they have blocks of gold, which is golden color. And what if I'm poor? I can't afford that big chunk of gold. What if I have only like tiny nugget of gold? What color is that? It's same color. So what if I'm really, really poor and I can't even afford a nugget of gold? What if I can only afford a nanometer of gold? What color would that be? Same color. Let me show you what color it will be. So here, I have a boiling solution of gold salt. Here I have a clear solution that is a reducer. It will reduce the gold to its gold metal. So it will be the same as the chunk of gold. Let's see what happens. Watch really closely. It's starting to change. So,
Do you see it?
at first it was, oh look! Remember it was pale yellow color to start with? What color is it now?
It's like a gray, right? Got some
It's like dusty.
She just made mud, didn't she? She turned gold into mud.
It's kind of purplish color now.
You put a white paper behind it.
Oh yeah. Will that help? Okay. Now you can see it's like grape juice. So I turned gold to grape juice. Still less valuable. Are we satisfied with grape juice? No, I want something even better. Okay, here it comes.
What color is it changing to now? Yeah, it's going to like a light purple. Now it's going to like more of a dark red.
Now it's like cranberry juice.
I like cranberry juice better. Just explain the color change.
Yeah. Okay, while it's still going, it'll take some more time to have the particle form. So what you just saw is that to begin with, it has some free gold ions running around really small, very small. So once I pour the reducer in it, it reduces it to gold ions, to gold metal, and then it grows to nano size. So instead of waiting for this to settle, I'll show you a bottle that I just made yesterday. Here is what it would look like after a little bit. And this is gold nanoparticle. So what color is this? It's nowhere compared to gold color, right? You could never imagine. So can you tell me, can you see particles in it? No. It's clear, isn't it? It's what?
It's just liquid.
Oh, it's just liquid. So am I cheating? Do I really have gold in it? Do I really have particles in it? How can I prove it? So particles has amazing property that it can scatter light. This is dilute milk, and we all know there's particles in the milk, right? Otherwise, why would you drink milk? So if you pass a laser beam around the particle, it will scatter light and show the beam in the particle. If there's no particle inside, for example, we have water here, what will happen? You will not see the laser beam because there's no particle inside the water to scatter the light to your eye, right? So again, with milk, there is the beam. Let's see if we have particle inside this.
So how many people think that we're going to see the laser light? Oh, okay.
Nice.
Everybody.
So now I prove that there is actually particle in, although you cannot see. That's what makes it amazing to be a nanoparticle. So what's the application of that? I'm sure you all used sunscreen before, right? So sunscreen, when you put on sunscreen, you don't turn white because the white particles inside the sunscreen is nano size, so it's transparent, just like this. It's clear. However, it will still scatter the UV light and protect your skin. So, but why when it goes down to nano size it becomes red is not something I can explain to you in 10 minutes. But if you take more science course, you will learn all that. So, besides have you can pass around. Yeah.
Drink it.
And please don't open the container. Here I have another bottle of gold particle. That one you just saw is about 40 nanometer. This one is about 10 nanometer. It's in a different color. So although we can see it with our eye, I can show you right here.
It's just a...
This is what a gold nanoparticle looks like under an electron microscope. So it's really particles, isn't it? So gold is actually, I've already shown you how amazing when gold particles down to nano size it can be. And it's also holds true to other particles. And there's all sorts of nanoparticles that are out there in our everyday life, from baseball bat to our fabric and to milk to our medicine. So it's out there changing our lives. This is all I have for you today, and I hope this can show you how interesting nanotechnology can be. And I hope in the future you can go out and look for more nanotechnologies and study more to it. And I hope someday you will grow up and contribute to this field. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your stay in Ziyan Center.
Thanks, guys.